ocean. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset, it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas.
Three more days, guys, and it's the new year. One of the things that our family does during this time is to do a general cleaning. I grew up doing that every January 1st of the year. It's a major cleanup for us. Now, how about you guys? What do you do at the start of the new year? Please put them on the comments below and share it with us. Again, good day to everyone. Welcome to Mommy Guiding. For those who are new to my channel, I am Mommy Lala. We would love to engage with you all, so please feel free to type in your questions or comments on Mommy Guide Inc.'s Facebook page or Mommy Guide Inc.'s YouTube channel. Just don't forget to be respectful at all times and put a Q before each question so we can easily see it. This year, guys, I would like to level up our family tradition of welcoming the new year further by actually adding decluttering onto the mix. And so it is actually very intentional that we have with us Sarah McDonald of Small Changes TV as guest tonight. Sarah is a minimalist YouTuber, expert declutterer, and organization expert. She currently hails from Gold Coast, Australia. Her channel, Small Changes TV, has over 17,000 subscribers, and it continues to gain popularity as she is able to bring and help people from all over the world experience happiness from being able to maximize their resources and spaces for the best. Okay, can crafters now, like most of us here, be able to declutter? Will we really be able to let go of our precious crafty stuff? Let's all learn how and see how we can actually do it. And so without further ado, let's all welcome first time on Mommy Guide Inc., Sarah McDonald. Hi, Sarah!
Hi! Oh, Lala, thank you so much for having me. I was saying to you earlier how much crafters are my absolute favorite clients because you guys see beauty and purpose in everything, and so you are just the most wonderful people to work with, and I can't wait to share with you some tips if you are wanting to declutter some of the excess in your craft.
Oh yes, Sarah, please. I personally would love to. You know, when I met Sarah for the first time in April, it was a joy and fear all at the same time. Joy, because
I get that
knew
a
that,
lot.
finally somebody who actually knows how to do this, properly.
Yes.
But then, of course, the fear of, oh no, will I be able to do this? Right? So first and foremost, Sarah, so let's talk about first Small Changes TV. All right. So let's can you tell everybody what you do in your channel? So what can they see in your channel?
So, firstly, I'm a mom, like I think a lot of you guys as well. I
Mm-hmm.
have 5 children, and so I started my channel just as a way of sharing how I had found ways to organize and keep things going and get kids where they need to be. And then through my minimalist journey and just sharing those parts of our life, I also started to help people to be set free from clutter. So I come from generational hoarders, and so there is a huge passion in me to help people get set free from clutter. Doesn't matter if they don't want to be a minimalist, but just helping people to let go of those things that are maybe on the peripheral, those extra things that they don't need anymore, helping them to focus on what's going to help them function better as a person, as a family, be more productive, and giving people real tips that they can take away. I am a visual learner, so I like to show people exactly how I get it done and how they can replicate that in their own home.
All right. So that is so exciting, guys. That is why Sarah's channel is really, blowing up as we speak, right? Because many people actually want to be helped. Okay, they actually want to, let go of the clutter. It's just that
Yeah.
they don't know how to, or sometimes it's easy to actually start, but to sustain. Okay,
Yeah.
keeping it like for the long time, right, or lengths of time, that is, I think, where the problem really is for most who are actually hoarders. Okay, I could consider myself recovering hoarder because at least
A
now I can let
maximalist.
go. I can go. I think I'm not, no way, okay, into the minimalist level, but I'm starting. I mean, I'm starting to at least, let go of some of those stuff. Okay, so let's read some of the chats first. Okay, good morning from Stephanie. Stephanie, thank you so much. She was actually preparing earlier on. She had her cup of coffee. She said, Lala, I woke up at 5 a.m. for you guys.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We love you. And there's Caleb, of course. It took Lala to bring the snow to the Gold Coast. Really, you have snow now?
No, just your snow from our intro.
See, I'm so gullible, Caleb. Oh, there you go. Hey, Caleb. Hi, Lala.
I think it's like 35 degrees still.
Oh, okay. Here it's really so hot. It feels like summer. It normally gets cooler in the city here in Manila between around February or latter part of
Lovely.
January, when the ice in some parts of China starts to melt. Then the wind that blows from there,
Blows the
yeah,
nice
so
cool
it
breeze.
becomes cooler for us. But at this point, not yet. And Miss Gladys
coming.
says, good evening, Miss Lala. Good evening, Miss Gladys. Hi, Lala and Sarah from Stephanie. Good evening, everyone. Miss Lisa, good evening po. Good evening, Crafty Sisters. Honey Mace Vlogs watching here. Honey Mace Vlogs is from Norway. Thanks for dropping by. And Sir Norman, thanks for sharing. Thank you so much. Okay, shared also Mommy Lala. Thank you, Miss Honey Maid. Miss Judy Ann, hello. Hello, Mommy Lala and Sarah. This is a bit scary episode. See, I told you, Sarah, for most
No
crafters,
scaring.
when we talk about decluttering, it's the taboo D word. But
We're going to turn it around, Lala. We're going to get you all, you're going to love decluttering so much. You're
Yes,
not going to want
guys.
to stop.
That's why I really chose Sarah to be with us tonight, because she is, she has this heart to help everyone. No judgment, She doesn't force anybody to become a minimalist like her. Okay, so if she will give us tips and what needs to be done, but in the end, of course, it is up to you. But the way she does it, we will just simply love her and just obey. All right, so don't worry, Sis Judy. We're on the same boat, but I trust Sarah. Vivian,
Yes.
good evening. Then Miss Glad, interesting topic. Hello, Sarah. Good evening, Sistina. Hello. Sistina is actually starting to declutter and she's actually starting to fix her craft area since like 2 days ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, so perfect. This is perfect for you, Sistina, as well. Hello, Mommy Lala and Sarah. Giga Art GG is actually in Australia as well, Sarah. She's an
Oh,
artist.
a fellow Aussie. Love
Yes,
it.
yes. Blind guy, his wife, they're alive. Hello, Lakita Marie and Cory. Hi, everyone. I'm here for help. Or I may or may not be a hoarder. So you are in between, right, Lakita Marie? All right, love this topic here. Okay, Miss Honey May, are you also a hoarder like me or recovering? All right, pretty sure that's an Aussie accent. Yes, indeed, Gigi. She is from Australia. Hi, I'm quite a hoarder too. Oh no, Miss Honey May, welcome to the club. But yeah, let's let go of being a hoarder. I see you have 2 floor lamps there, Sarah. Yes. All right.
This
awesome,
is my
right?
bedroom slash office. So it's, if I could get away with no lamps, I totally would, but they're from IKEA. And I know that you guys in the Philippines just got an IKEA. So if you need them.
Actually, I tried to go live in there, but the internet connection was so bad that in the end, I just gave up and just, shop. Oh, no additional stuff. Anyway, but
Well, I actually lost Caleb in the IKEA and they had no cell service, so I couldn't call him. So I had to go old school and get them to call him over the loudspeaker.
So yes, I think that's how they do it as well, right? Because if everybody would be on Wi-Fi or stuff, so probably they'll have an
Yes.
issue as well. Okay, so Tina says IKEA. Yes, indeed, we love it.
Oh.
All right, so guys, okay, without further ado, this is it. We really have to talk about decluttering. All right. So Sarah, decluttering. Why should we actually be doing decluttering? Whether you're a crafter or, everybody does need to do decluttering, right? But why?
Of course. And so what I sort of start with my clients is I'm really focused on function. So especially with crafters and hobbyists, what I want to see for you is the ability to be able to sit down and do whatever that craft project is or that hobby or whatever your favorite thing is. I want you to be able to sit down and do it straight away and not get lost in a whole heap of stuff and not be able to find what you need or be really overwhelmed just by the sheer amount of things you have. And that can correspond to whatever it is, whether it's your craft room or your routine, getting your kids ready in the morning. So if you are struggling in a certain area, if things are feeling really overwhelmed or you can't find what you need, that's a good sign that a declutter is probably going to fix some of those problems. And so as you go through and sort of, I call it reverse engineering, and that is looking at what you need to do, whatever it is, whether it's crafting or live streaming or getting your kids out the door, looking at what is needed for that and then removing anything else out of the way so that you can just focus on that one thing.
That is awesome, right? Actually, I can actually attest to that. It actually helped that I started streaming, crafty streams this year, Sarah, because I have a lot of stuff. I've been crafting over three decades, so you can just imagine how much stuff I have. So they often tease me that I don't have a craft room. I have a craft house. So I need a whole house, a separate house just to house everything.
Just for crafting.
Exactly. So it became that bad. So it's like in every, in my office, in my home, in every cabinet, you see craft materials, okay? But the thing is, as you said, it's okay if you actually are able to use it. You see actual products or projects, okay, coming out of all of these supplies. But the thing is, it just becomes, hoarded materials. And then I actually did several streams where I showed them, Sarah, a lot of the things that I actually, are now broken or spoiled or cannot be used anymore, like the stamps or the inks. They dried up.
Yeah.
Right? Because I said, I needed all of these colors. Okay, this brand, all the colors. Eventually, I didn't even get to use any of them, right? And now
Yes.
they're gone, right? So waste of money, the waste of time, waste of resources. So at least now I am able to actually, bring out what I have and come up with projects. Okay, but still, that's not enough. I know that every year, craft manufacturers come up with new products, new
Of course,
techniques,
yeah.
new stuff. So unless we declutter or we let go of
Yeah.
some of these things, we will probably need a building in the end.
Yeah.
Not just a house, right? So
Yes.
how can we
And
start, Sarah? So basically, that's the most difficult thing for us. Where do we start? Okay, so I think this is where we can start, like, the tips. All right.
yes.
So where can we start?
So I work with a lot of crafters, so I go out and help them organize spaces or organize their whole craft home. And so these are 5 things that I think across the board work for a lot of crafters or hobbyists. So whether you're an artist or even if you love things like camping and those sorts of things, all of those things come with a lot of items. So when we're thinking about that, the very first thing I talk about with my clients is about projects. And Lala, you touched on this already, which is I think that this process of thinking about what projects you want to take on is a little bit like when I'm helping my kids declutter. I say to them, can you go through and pick out your favorite toys for me? And then they go through and they pick out all of their favorites. And then it makes it really easy to see those things that maybe are not our favorites, or we are broken, or we probably wouldn't pick those first. And so you can do this by setting up projects. So if you have a craft project in mind, or if you have maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 projects that you are thinking of coming up in the coming months, collating all of the materials that you need for those projects together in one space so that you're ready to sit down and start crafting. And that kind of sounds a little bit counterintuitive. You're like, oh, I'm supposed to be decluttering and here I am choosing what I'm going to do next. But then once you've got those products, it's almost like you've set aside your precious products that you know are going to be safe, and you know what you've got coming up, the things you would like to do, the projects you would like to complete. And then it makes it much easier to look at those other items, those peripheral things, the things that maybe don't have a project that you saw at the craft store that looked really beautiful, but maybe don't fit in with your artistic style right now or the time that you have to complete it. And so by organizing via project first and then looking at those other things that haven't fit into an upcoming project, that's a great place to start decluttering. And your heart will be a little bit more ready because you know that those items that you are really passionate about and you have the idea for, they're safe and sound and ready to go when you're ready. And these other items are ready to go out and maybe bless someone else.
Wow, I never thought about that. When the thought of decluttering comes to mind, I always think about, okay, I need to actually, let go of stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
But actually that's a nice way to actually do it. So it doesn't come in as a negative thing that we have to, as a hoarders, one of the things that we're so scared of doing is letting go of stuff, right? But we actually,
Yes.
if what you do is actually to pick stuff that you actually can use for certain projects, like what Sarah said, that's actually nice, because when we actually go into our craft room and look at these products that we will be able to use, we actually see also the things that we have that actually probably we don't really need, right?
Exactly.
So that's a very nice one. All right. So as Sarah said, counterintuitive, right? Very nice, very nice. Okay, Sarah, okay, let's just read some of the comments again. Okay, Stephanie saying, you lost Caleb in IKEA? Yes, and I need this. Happy Mess is waving. Hello, Miss Hedeme. Okay, and Miss Vess is saying good evening, and KM also. Hello, everyone. Yes, Steph, but she later found me by asking a guy called Alan Chi. Yes, sorry I'm late. It's my daughter's birthday. Yes, it's okay po. Good evening. Hey, Zoe. Okay. Hey, everyone. Sorry for hopping in late. That's my daughter. She's moderating, but she thought it's at 9 p.m. So she's an hour late. All right. Question from Stephanie. How to deal with decluttering remorse? Last year, I got rid of a ton of craft stuff, and a handful of times I needed the things I tossed. That's the fear,
Oh,
right? That's why sometimes I said no, because I might be able to use this in the future, right? So if I let go of it, what if I need it in the future? So yes, how do we handle those kinds of emotions, Sarah?
so I think there's a couple of different ways that you can look at this, Steph. One is that I always give myself permission to replace items if I need to, because there is going to be a cost either way. There is a cost to you storing items, there is a cost to you maintaining those items, having a home big enough, having to take care of them. That has a cost too. And so sometimes I encourage my clients to use questions like, if I had to replace this, could I do it easily and for under about $20 or whatever your equivalent to that is? And if the answer is yes, then you give yourself permission not only to declutter it, but also to buy it again if you need it. Because there is going to be a cost either way, and we can't know everything we're going to need for the future, but this is one way to sort of alleviate that guilt if it does come up. Another thing you can do is try and find other things that might work, and just, crafters are so inventive and creative, and so this is another way you can sort of use that creativity to find some stuff that you maybe have. It might not be the perfect item, but it might work just fine.
All right. So that's awesome when you say you're creative enough, right? So you can actually come up with something, even if you don't have that, maybe you have an
Yes.
alternative. And sometimes, like, especially with things that actually have expiration dates, with tools, that's fine, I think. That's why I think I love tools. I am a hoarder. I
Yes.
think, but that's a wrong mental concept as well, because that gives me the the encouragement to actually buy more tools, but I have more tools than I can actually handle. So, but
Yes.
especially those that have expiration dates, like the inks. So, if you don't get to use them, right? So, it's not as good if ever, like, after a decade, it's not as
Yeah.
juicy as you want it to be. The colors might have faded, and so on and so forth. See, that's what Stephanie is saying. Oh, that is so good. Give myself permission to replace if needed, right? So that's a good, positive, so that you don't feel that you are missing out, you're being forced. It was like
Yes.
you ask your question, the question to yourself, right? And then
Yes.
and then we allow ourselves, we give permission to ourselves to actually let go, instead of it's like somebody forcing us to do it, right? So that's a very
Yeah.
positive way of doing it. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie and Sarah. Honey May says, the thought that I may need the stuff later hinders me to postpone or start decluttering. Yes, I think this is Honey May's message or comment reflects a lot of crafters and hoarders out there. But
Yeah.
again, okay, just like me, Honey May, and the many who are here, we actually want to, instead of being hoarders, we want to be makers, right? More
Yes.
creative, right? Creators. That's what we want to be, rather than hoarders. Yes, this will be my goal next year, to declutter. Okay, that's a very good goal. All right, so we will talk about how you can actually, push through with that goal, Honey May, after we've done with all the tips. Okay, Sarah is gonna share with us something really, really wonderful that can guide us through the whole of January. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's go on to the next tip. Okay, Sarah.
So, number two, and I think we've sort of touched on this already, and it's true again, not just with crafting, but with a lot of things, and that is to make sure that we are creating more than we're purchasing. So, with one of my clients who was a crafter, she loved to go and buy craft supplies, and I ended up having to sit down with her and just say, do you want your hobby to be purchasing craft supplies, or do you want your hobby to be actually crafting? Because there is actually more, purchasing of craft supplies than there was actual craft being made. And if that has been a season that you've been in where you've done a lot of purchasing, that's completely fine. Please don't beat yourself up at all. We all go through seasons where we bring a little bit too much into our home. And the best step forward from that is to just acknowledge that, I've got lots of craft supplies, and be really intentional about where you go from there, saying to yourself, I want to make a commitment to myself that I'm going to be creating more than I'm purchasing. And just that little mind shift, I call it stopping the flow. So some people are great at decluttering, but they keep consuming and keep bringing new items in. So they end up in this cycle, like every 6 months, of having to declutter and doing a big declutter. And then there's a whole heap of guilt and shame attached to that. So one simple thing that you can do today, and please, no guilt. There's none of that here. But if that has been you, just be like, you know what? I've done a season of bringing stuff in, and now I'm committing to a season of enjoying these things that I have and being a creator instead of a purchaser.
All right, that is so awesome. So you see, it doesn't have to start, guys. So from what I'm hearing from Sarah, for tip number 2, okay, we have to actually make use of the stuff. So she's not espousing us to let go of everything. Okay, no, she's saying be more of a creator. Okay, make stuff out of the stuff that we have brought into our homes, right, or into our craft rooms. Use it first, and because that's the only way that we would actually know which ones we don't actually really need at this point or season in our life, right?
Yes,
there you go.
yes,
Exactly.
and I think it's really important to also sort of acknowledge that, when we've bought, this doesn't just apply to crafting, that, I go out to people's houses and they love camping gear, but they have more gear than they actually do camping, or they have more food in their house than they actually do cooking. And so whatever this area is for you, whether it's you're a crafter or an artist, or whether it's just beauty supplies, this same simple tip can be used with wherever you need it. If there is abundance in one area of your life that you would like to cut down on, it doesn't matter if it's crafting or hobbies or food or makeup, whatever it is, you can use this tip.
All right. So you see, guys, Sarah knows everything. All right. She knows that we can actually hoard not just craft materials. There's food. Okay. There's actually makeup. So she totally understands us, and she loves everybody. That's why we love Sarah, because she totally understands. So there's no, don't do that. That's not good. No, that's not Sarah's approach. Never. All right.
No.
So her intention is really to help. So I really love how Sarah is able to do that and guide her clients going through that. All right. So from Honey May, Sarah, this will be okay. She mentioned that. Okay. Hold on. Why is it I cannot? Okay. It's hanging. Okay, there you go. I really like to organize, but I also like to save things. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so I think that's where, step number 2 comes in, right? So after organizing, and then we need to come up with actual products. So if it's food, then you have to come up with, dish. If it's makeup, make sure that you actually use it, right? Sometimes we're just lazy, right? Oh, I'm going to use this for, day makeup. Or, for night makeup. But then when we go out, oh, I'm lazy. I'm just going to go out like this, right? So we don't really actually, intentionally use it. So there you go. Blind guy, his wife, their life. I've gotten over keeping the items, but changing my children is tricky. They have gotten used to keeping things even if they don't use them. All right. So, yes, indeed. I empathize with them. I've been there. I'm still there. All right, Simply Lorenzo is from Dubai. Hi, Simply Lorenzo. Thanks for dropping by. OMG, so guilty of number 2, says Tina. So we have more supplies than actual, outputs. Don't worry, sis Tina. That's why we have Crafty Nights. So during Crafty Nights, Sarah, I ask everybody to actually use what they have at home. and then at the end of the show, they show pictures and photos of what they are actually able to create at the end of the night. So for most
I
of
love
us, it has become, an opportunity and an avenue for us to actually, finally, use whatever we have, stashed.
Yes,
Alright.
perfect.
Yes, perfect. From Miss KM, appear, Miss Tina. Ha ha ha. Agree to that, Miss Tina. Everybody's agreeing to Miss Tina about tip number 2. Yes, New Year's resolution right there from Simply Lorenzo. Don't we all, right? Okay, creating more than purchasing. Love that. Yes, Sis G. But although Sis Gigi is really not a hoarder, she's okay. Okay. Okay, and Stuart Young, hello folks. Hi. Thanks for dropping by. I am not a crafter, but this topic is really applicable in many other aspects too. I need to declutter my thoughts too. All right, thoughts as well, right, Sarah? All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and Caleb says, welcome, Stuart. Again, Stuart, thanks for dropping by. Ano pong Team Bahay project? Sprinkle with cards. Okay, for Team Bahay project for tonight, okay, we want you to show us, okay? Send it to my mommyguideinc@gmail.com email photo of what you have started to actually do in terms of decluttering. All right, so send it to my email before the end of the show. All right. So how are you feeling today, Stuart? Okay. Oh, is Stuart okay? I hope you're doing fine. Okay. At Caleb. All right. Okay. Exactly. That's what I thought. Honey May says. I collect craft supplies like some people collect bags and shoes. Yes, I think she spoke for everybody in in the crafting community. Thank you, Sistina. But hopefully the tips that Sarah's sharing tonight can help us, slowly. That's why I like even Sarah's channel name, Small Changes. It doesn't have to be, leap of, big leaps and stuff like that. Small changes, right?
Yes.
Amazing, yes. Jason Rosetta, Mommy Guide, good evening po. Thanks for dropping by. Stuart, hope you're on and the up and up, mate. All right. Yes, Stuart, I hope you're doing great. Okay, so when I let go of my tools, Miss KM says, I always thank them for the service and wish that the new owner will help them. Plus, I assure myself that there will be an upgraded version of that tool. That's nice, right? It's
I
okay
love this.
because there will be an upgraded version for real. All right.
Yes.
Yes, me too. All right, so we're updated on the chat. So what's tip number 3, Sarah?
So number 3, I guess, is exactly what we were talking about, and it's about using what you have. Now, there is a couple of different components to this. I think sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I have fell into that trap of keeping something for good. And so, whether it's dinnerware or that fancy paint that we bought that we are putting away for that perfect project on the perfect day, that might never come. And so what I really would love to encourage you around is using what you have today. And if that might look like doing a really good stock take of exactly what craft supplies you have, or any other area of your house, just like you would with your pantry, exactly like Lala and I were talking about before. You would go to your pantry, see what you have already, and then design a meal around that. You can do the same thing with your crafting projects. Go to your craft projects, to your craft cupboard or craft room, and have a look at what project you can do with the stuff you already have, and then supplement that if you need to. So if you are stamping some beautiful cards and you already have the paper and the stamps, but you want some new ink, that's a great way of just buying one product instead of the whole project as one whole hit. Now, crafters, I think, get targeted at by marketers with this exact thing, that they get sold items like together, whether they need them or not, that they get sold packages of things that you might use some of it and not other parts of it. So, perhaps repurposing something in a different way from perhaps the way you bought it, thinking outside the box. Especially if you have kids, this is a great way of letting them maybe use some special things that haven't fitted into a project that you've had, but still having those items be used. That is like that is decluttering in its most organic form, using up consumables, getting whoever it is that can get joy from it, and not saving things for a rainy day, making sure that you know exactly what craft supplies you have. Because how many times have we been at the shops and we haven't known that we've already got that paper at home, and then we get home and realize we've got 2 lots of it? It happens to the best of us. So part of your decluttering process, again, may not be getting rid of items. It may just be doing a stock take that you keep on your phone, so you know exactly what you have when you get to the craft store, and you've planned projects around the stuff you already have. So if it means that you don't need to buy anything, that's wonderful. Or perhaps you just need to supplement with 1 or 2 items instead of the whole project. All of those things tie in with number 2 about picking projects that we can do and get finished, and then also just using up those things that we already have.
All right. So guys, have you actually, from tip 1 to tip 3, okay? Have you ever, like, did you hear Sarah say, let go? Okay. None yet, right? Basically, what Sarah's telling us is use it. Okay. Make use of it, create something out of it. All right. So that's a different thinking, really, that I am, I think I'm really inspired to actually, because it lessens the guilt, right? When you actually immediately just let go of stuff, it feels like, oh, see, you didn't need it in the first place, right? Right. It has a negative connotation and feeling to it. But if you use, okay, whatever you have, and eventually you see that, oh, okay, I think this one it's just not me. It might, be nice, but it's not, I don't really go into that design. I'm more into, let's say, vintage. I'm more into, whimsical stuff. So, okay, so, but maybe one of your crafter friends actually, okay, will make use of it. So basically, that's also what we do in Crafty Nights. So we actually have, prizes that, if you really want it, then you can actually, join, right? So there.
Perfect.
Yes, and Honey Mary says, that is so me. And Miss Judy says, some of KM's stash items found their new home to my place. Oh, there you go. See that? So let's start doing that, right? So there you go. Heart from Sarah. No, Sir Norman, thank you so much. And Roy is here. Roy of Tech Troublemaker. Roy and Coulter had an amazing stream earlier today. They talked about, in a way, some sort of decluttering, but email, right? Email.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to also, know about that, head on to Tech Troublemakers channel. Agree, says KM. All right, so now we're down to number 4, Sarah.
So number 4 is when we are actually going to start to let go of items. And one of the terms that I really love is let boundaries be the bad guys. And so what that is there's 2 different kinds of boundaries, particularly for crafters. The first one is physical boundaries. So if you have a craft room or a craft desk or a craft drawer, knowing that the boundary of the amount of craft supplies that you have is got to fit in that space, and that you can keep as much as you like as long as it fits in that space. And again, that's kind of flipping decluttering on its head, because instead of being like you can't have this and you can't have that, it's you can have as much as you like as long as it fits in this space. And so that is a great way of just keeping yourself in check. A natural boundary actually allows us the freedom to, purchase new items, to let go of items as their season has ended. There are so many reasons that we would bring an item into our house that we think is going to be wonderful, and maybe it is for a season, but then it's time for that item to move on. I know someone said a little bit earlier that they thank that item for its service, and just acknowledging, hey, this was great while I needed it, but it's totally okay because it no longer fits in this boundary. And the second boundary for particularly crafters or artists is the boundary of time. So our space and our time is finite. And so I encourage my clients who have a lot of craft supplies to keep between 6 and 12 months of projects at any one time. So once you have planned out what you could realistically do in 6 to 12 months, anything outside of that, any projects that you couldn't finish during that time, those are the ones that you can feel free to let go of. And that's a really good time frame, not just for, the amount of stuff, but also, Lala, like you said, that things, fade. They're not as good if we're keeping them for years and years. So if you're limiting yourself to a 12-month period of craft projects or art projects, that after that time, you can reassess as you're going on, so you can have a constant 12 months there. And, I understand that some crafters are working on several projects at once, but if you just have a rough idea of about what 6 to 12 months, what your schedule can really take, how much crafting you can take, and then feeling free to let go of those projects to someone else if they are not something you could complete in that time.
That is super, super awesome, right? So you don't end up having a craft house when all you actually want is just a craft room or a craft table, all right?
Yeah.
So limit yourself. Let's limit ourselves to, a dedicated craft space. Anyway, for crafters, if it's food, for pantry, for whatever it is. Okay, so boundaries. Let the boundaries be the bad guy, right? So Sarah said.
Yeah.
All right. So again, thank you so much, Miss Katrina. Okay, good evening, Pog. Thanks for coming. Love this tip, says Honey May. Okay, blind guy, his wife, their life. Keeping the boundary of space is difficult when IKEA is near me. And they keep offering storage solutions, right? So that's actually one thing I realized, Sarah, right? When you keep on buying stuff and then you have so much, the next thing you would be needing is storage solutions, right? Storage containers. And then, right?
Yeah.
So it just builds up and builds up and builds up. I totally understand, Nakita Marie. Stuart says, make the boundary the bad guy is my favorite. Great for setting limitations. Indeed. I think setting a time frame would probably also help. Okay. Yeah, so that's why Sarah said, what we can do realistically between, about 6 months, that's good enough. And actually, I like that because sometimes, like, being too vague, as a hoarder, it has to be more specific. Otherwise, it won't be done, right?
Yes,
Okay, you
exactly.
need to tell us like what day, what time, when, how many, it has to be that detailed. Otherwise, it won't get done. We will have like 1,000,001 reasons why we won't be able to do it yet. Unless there is, a more specific, reason behind it. Maybe create sort of a co-op with other crafters where everyone shares what they don't need with the group and ask the group before they buy something if they have it. Yes, actually, so that's now, Roy, most clubs, okay, so we have now a very active community, a crafting community here in the Philippines. It's actually very active, whether you're into, planners, scrapbooking, card making, all of these crafts have different organizations or groups, and they are the community is wonderful. It's wonderful. So it actually really helps. But the thing, there's also a group called Destashers group. So sometimes you end up buying so many stuff as well from there. So you also really need to keep yourself, checked. That's why a co-op or an accountability partner is actually an amazing concept. Thanks, Roy. That is actually good. Setting healthy boundaries is definitely something I want to practice more coming into the new year. Yes, anak. That's my daughter. Okay, ha ha ha. Super great. Super agree, blind guy, his wife. When you're near IKEA. So it's harder. All right. So finally, the fifth one, Sarah.
So the fifth one, I'm just touching on what a blind guy, his wife, and their life was saying, is that I say that you can organize without decluttering, but it's very hard to declutter without organizing. So if you make sure that you've committed to decluttering and not just organizing, that's a great way of just keeping yourself in check and making sure that the first thing you're doing is getting rid of any items that don't belong here anymore, and then doing the organizing after that. Otherwise, you will fall into that trap of always just buying more storage to keep up with all the items that you have. But tip number 5, and Roy, you beat me to it, and that is donate with purpose. And so particularly for crafters, you know, in my field as a professional organizer, one of the questions that we'll often use is, does this spark joy? And that can be a really tricky thing for crafters, because you know what? All your craft sparks joy. You all make beautiful things, you buy beautiful things, and you all see the purpose of all these beautiful things. And so sometimes if you're donating with purpose, that's a really good way of overcoming that sort of does it spark joy hurdle, because yes, everything sparks joy. But again, coming back to those boundaries of what can I keep at any one time, and knowing that there is no guilty clutter. We do not do that. But items that you have had for a season or haven't worked out the way you planned, or you bought for what I call your fantasy self, those items are much easier to let go of if they're donated with purpose. Can they go to a kindergarten? Can they go to a charity that maybe, you know, makes something for people in need, or gives these items to children who don't have access to art supplies? And that will make that process of letting go a lot easier. And so if you can donate with purpose, or if you can sell those items, this works as a double win, especially for your crafty friends. If you've had a tool for a certain period of time and you no longer need it, selling it to someone at a discounted rate so that they can have it is a great way of, you know, you recouping some of that cost back and also helping somebody else out. There are some amazing things on the internet, like craft co-ops, as Roy mentioned, and I know that you guys are already doing so many wonderful things there, but also like free cycling, kindergartens, letting your children or grandchildren do a completely different type of art project than perhaps it was intended. My daughters got given some origami paper, and to be honest, the origami was a little bit difficult for them, but then I just let them go to town and they made these beautiful decoupages using the paper and some glue. So it doesn't matter if it's outside of the box. If you can donate with purpose, repurpose with purpose, or sell those items, that is going to make it much, much easier to let go of items. And this is the same whether it's crafting or anywhere else in your house. If you know that it can have a second life, it can bless somebody else, that is going to make it so much easier to let go. I had a client who had a whole heap of old blankets that she just could not let go of, and I suggested that we take them to an animal shelter nearby, and she was so keen to let those items go as long as she knew that they were going to have a new purpose somewhere else.
That is really nice, right? I think one of the reasons why we don't want to let go of stuff is because we feel that, of course, the overwhelming feeling of, no, I actually need it. But when we know that somebody else actually might need it more or might have more use for it, that it becomes easier. Okay, actually, I have to commend the community I am part of. Okay, the crafting community I'm part of. Just recently, we had a very, very, bad storm, awful storm, which basically devastated Cebu, it's the second biggest city. Okay, not other than from NCR in the south. A lot of people lost houses and stuff. So during their Christmas party, one of the communities, Craft, Create, and Swap. So the major prize was supposed to be a Cricut Joy. She actually decided to actually sell it, okay, and all the proceeds actually went, okay, and was donated to help the people in the south. And everybody else from there started to, okay, they said, okay, we want to help more. How? right? So also some of the Filipino YouTuber community also did the same thing. So indeed, right? So when we find, purpose, okay, a better purpose, it's easier to actually let go, right? All right, Sarah, thank you so much for those 5 amazing tips. So if you're coming in late and you missed some of the tips that Sarah actually shared to us, don't worry, because you can always watch this on replay. All right, so Honey May says, I'll start decluttering with my kitchen cupboards later. Woo! Congratulations, Miss Honey May. All right. And Marcus, sorry I am late. I know, Marcus, it's okay. Marcus, you have work. We know that you actually have work. All right. So thank you so much, Marcus. And Caleb says hi. Hannah Baker, morning. Glad I come say hi this morning. So Hannah, thank you so much, Hannah, for coming. Marcus, hi, Caleb. And sprinkle with cards. This is Miss Zell. Bago po ba background mo, Mommy Lala? Yes, actually, it's the same piece of stuff, but I just transferred to a new space. I was telling Sarah a while ago. All right, Hannah, I didn't know your last name was McDonald. All right. I hear the word purpose a lot. I'll start asking my kids how the things they want to keep are serving a purpose. Maybe that will help us repurpose, right? Well, thank you, Miss Judy, for becoming a member. There you go. Thank you so much. All right, Sarah. We've talked about, the 5 awesome tips. Okay. Now, again, it's not so easy, especially if you are in that hoarder status yet. Okay, still. All right. But if you are onto that recovering one, so you are more open, right? But the amazing thing, okay, everyone, is that there is an amazing challenge that's gonna happen this January that Sarah, okay, Small Changes TV is gonna host. So can you tell us more about that, Sarah? And let's invite everybody for that one.
So this is a guided decluttering challenge that runs from the 1st of January to the 31st of January. Sometimes we don't know where to start when it comes to decluttering, and there are some things that are really difficult to part with. And so what I have done is, through my processes with working with clients, is I've actually come up with a challenge that will walk you through the decluttering process, not just to get rid of items, but to help you organize your home and actually get all of those items to leave their home during that month. So whatever it is that you struggle with, whether it's mental decluttering, so you let the items go in your mind, but you don't actually get them out of your house, or whether it's maybe overcoming some of that overwhelming feeling of not knowing where to start. Like you said before, Lala, sometimes we just really need a really clear idea on what we should be doing on any certain day, and that is exactly what the challenge is going to be. I'm going to be going live every single day in January on our Facebook group and also in our Discord server, so that you guys can chat to me, you can let me know how you're going, we can cheer each other on, so we've got accountability together, and that by the end of the month we will have decluttered pretty much almost every area of our home in less than 15 minutes a day, whilst also really sort of tackling some of those things that are going to help us going into the future, so that we can become good, constant declutterers, removing those items on a regular basis.
Exactly. So imagine, guys, that is super awesome. So again, it's on smallchanges.com. All right. So best way to look for Sarah is smallchanges.tv. Okay, there's the link. It's also on the on the description of this video, and also on my YouTube channel. So exactly, and also my Facebook page. All right. So okay, Giga Art is saying, I love the calm and non-judgmental way Sarah presents the tips. Thank you, Sarah. Indeed, right? So that's why, I will not bring in somebody here. Okay, it took me, this is the first time, Sarah, that I'm talking about this topic here, because I know this is a sensitive topic for most of us crafters, right? Because we know that, oh no, we're gonna be judged. Okay, but as you've seen, right, and heard, guys, never, okay, in the almost an hour that we have had Sarah here, that she judged, crafters for what we are or what we do. So again,
No.
thank you so much, Sarah. And Marcus, thank you for the super chat. There you go. Woohoo! Can't wait for this, said Sid. Okay, thank you so much. Super excited, says Hannah. I am so excited for this. I may need to go back to Facebook for this. Okay, if you don't want Facebook, there's Discord, right? There's a Discord server.
There's Discord, yes, and I
Yes.
will actually be moving all the videos every day over to YouTube. So if you don't want to use social media at all of the videos every single day will be there. We can chat in the comments. And so it's just a great way of sort of kickstarting your year of decluttering. So if that's, something that you want to achieve in 2022, this is just a really tangible way. It's absolutely free. So just come along. There is a whole group of people who want to cheer you on, and they'll all be doing it together. You can post videos, you guys can go live in the Facebook group, and it's going to be a great time.
All right. So guys, if you are excited, I am too, because I am in. All right. So guys, I would want to see, the whole crafting community be there. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Let's do a daily challenge. Anyway, there will be prompts. So don't worry. Don't be scared, because Sarah will guide us through it. Just 15 minutes, right, Sarah, of our
15
time.
minutes.
15 minutes. And then if you're not able to, go there live, that's no problem, because there's always a replay. So they've thought of everything. So there's no excuse not to be there, because it's going to be on Facebook, on Discord, and even on YouTube. Again, Marcus, thank you so much for the super chat. Marcus said, 2 of my favorite people in one stream. Yes, actually, also, everybody loves Marcus. As by now, everybody knows Marcus also here in our community. Thank you so much, Marcus. I got off most social media a while ago, but I might try Discord. Yes, Hannah, let's try Discord. I've been hearing nice things about Discord as well. I actually have a Discord. I'm in Discord, but I haven't really done anything about it. I still have to learn about it, Sarah. So again, Sarah, let's just show them. Okay, it's smallchangers.com if you want to join. It starts January the 1st. Okay, January the 1st for you, Sarah, or for
me? So here in
What's that?
Australia, so it might be like December 31st for some of you, but you know what? You guys can get the challenge a bit early, and then you'll have a whole day to do it. But it really is about small changes. So this is not something that's going to take you all day. It should be able to be done in 15 minutes or less. And then every single day, I'm going to have the 15-minute challenge, but I'm also going to have a deep dive. So if you are at the point in your decluttering journey where you've got a little bit more to do, there'll be a deep dive there every day, that if you want to get rid of a little bit more, or if you want to go a little bit further, you can do that as well.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at my, everybody seemed to have been, focused on listening. Okay. So they actually forgot to actually show what they have done, don't worry, guys. It's okay, because actually we're going to be doing this daily, right? So maybe what I'm going to do to actually help you further is during Crafty Nights, we will actually showcase, what you've done for the week. Right? During our Crafty Nights, maybe every Saturday, right? Every Saturday, okay, we'll come up with, okay, what have you done so far as part of, Sarah's challenge. All right, so let's do that. Okay. And then also, guys, don't forget, tomorrow I'm going to be having bullet journaling, right? So if you guys are also interested in bullet journaling in preparation for the new year, please do join us. Again, Sarah, thank you so much. Last words. Encouragement for those who actually want to do this, want to declutter.
No matter where you are on your journey, the great thing about decluttering is you can start today. And you can start today by getting rid of trash, some boxes, all of those excess things that you really don't need in your life, so that when it comes to your crafting, you can just sit down and do the thing you love. Give those crafting things that you love and adore a place of honor in your home, so they are not a cluttered mess, but they are a place that brings you calm and peace. And that no matter where you are on your journey, being intentional about what we bring into our home, that can start any day. And we can always, like I said, there's always those seasons of abundance where we're bringing items in, and we can always start the next season of our life, whether it's a new year or a new week, by just committing to bringing less items into our homes.
Wow. Well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, just last two comments from Marcus. This will be fantastic, and it's free. Indeed, it's free. Thank you, Sarah, from Marcus. And Hannah is asking, these are both decluttering and crafting challenges. Actually, the decluttering, okay, is part of Small Changes TV. Okay, so that's Sarah. But in my case, okay, every Wednesdays and Saturdays, I actually have crafty streams here where we actually create, okay, stuff. Okay, we have prompts as well, but it's twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, but it's long. Okay, because we actually create something from scratch to finish. So if you're into that, you're okay with, staying long hours, then you're welcome to stay and craft along with us. All right, Honey May, thank you for sharing this idea, Sarah and Mommy Lala. Thank you so much also, Miss Honey May, for dropping by. Great tips indeed. Thanks again for sharing the solution, Sarah. Thank you for all the tips from Miss Vess. From KM, thank you, Sarah. Got some awesome tips. All right, guys, so let's turn those tips into actual, actual, what do we call this? Actual results. All right. So
Yes.
let's join Sarah. Okay, January 1st, or for some, it could be December 31st. All right. So with that, we'd say good night and have a blessed day to everybody. See you again next time. Bye. Okay, if you are not yet subscribed to Small Changes, please head on to her YouTube channel as well.